there's so much fish before that their trips wouldn't last more than a few days. And they go back, punong-puno na barko nila. Now, again, it's hard. Yung kapitan ng barko, si Captain Efren, who I got to converse with, he was a young guy when he transferred, he got to Masinloc. He married taga Masinloc. They have kids now. His oldest kid, his oldest daughter, married a fisherman who also works on the boat of Captain Efren. But the wife actually doesn't work in Masinloc. The wife of the Kapitan works in Saudi as an OFW. Sabi ko, bakit? Kasi medyo mahirap buhay. Because, again, the catch is not as much as before. Considering that the boat they use was provided by the municipality through a cooperative, so mas less ang gastos nila. Despite that, as compared to before, mas less yung kita nila. So, to make ends meet, the wife is now based in Saudi. I said nga na, di ba she'll rest lang? Sabi niya, baka when her contract ends at the end of the year or early next year, baka she'll rest na sandali here. His daughter, is also an OFW. Despite being married to a fisherman, in OFW in Singapore, again, to make ends meet. It's hard. It's hard life.
No!
Tinitrain ko para mawala ang hilo.
It's their life, eh. You see guys there who like for example, si Tony, his son, Rain, was there. So, they're passing it on na, eh. In fact, some of them were brought into Masinloc by their dads or their relatives to help fish. I guess it's a way of life for them. Sanay na sila, eh. I slept in alam mo yung styrofoam na lalagyan ng isda na may ice sa loob. Like may plywood lang sa taas. I slept in that the first night. Parang ganito ka-wide. Ganyan. I had to crouch, no? Good thing I'm not tall naman, so pwede. The second night, I slept in dalawa na, so medyo I could stretch out na. But yung iba, they sleep in those containers. They sleep in the cutting. They sleep in sa taas. May beds or parang plywood behind the captain's steering wheel. No? Ang problema lang dun is it's a bit noisy kasi engine and medyo may amoy because of the diesel fumes. No? So I slept there. The last night, nagkamali ako. Kasi you're supposed to sleep front to back, di ba? Last night, there's a second, parang may chair sa taas on top of where the captain is. I slept sideways and it was a bit choppy, so medyo my body jumped a couple of times, so nagkasakit yung likod ko because it's wood, di ba? Before kasi, years ago, long time ago, everybody would fish there together. In fact, they would look forward to seeing vessels from other countries kasi they would swap, eh. For example, they'd give fish to, like for example, the Chinese, then the Chinese would give them masarap daw, their description, masarap na noodles. So they would barter. Yung iba, they would trade with liquor. But that changed in recent years. Parang umigbit na yung Chinese, hindi na pwede pumasok sa lagoon. When we were there would be militia and Coast Guard vessels who would go by the ship to our vessel and parang mag-visual check. There were times daw na may kasama silang foreigner who would, they want to dive or they want to do documentary. Once makita daw, parang minomonitor talaga. In fact, there's one time na the Coast Guard stayed beside the vessel for hours. As in, hours. Yung isang beses na biglang out of nowhere, they heard a whirling sound. May drone na pala sa taas nila kasi monitoring. Kasi there's a foreigner. They were not prevented from fishing, but they were, parang, I get a feeling na doon ka, o dito lang kayo ha, hindi sila pwede pumasok. Parang may spots sila na they can fish. So their activities and movements are monitored. When I used to drive from Batangas to, like, take a Roro to Mindoro or to Katiklan, when you leave Batangas, alam mo yung, you could see the bright lights from the port, di ba? In Baho de Masinloc, it's so dark because it's nothing, di ba? And you could see bright lights, like 2 lights from afar. Like another 2 lights here, another 2 lights here. So, I would ask, ano yan? Mga barko ng Chinese vessels. Because those are big vessels. There are Chinese Coast Guard, PLA ships, Navy ships, there are militia ships, and there are shipping vessels. So there are 4 types of Chinese vessels there. The 4th is the fishing vessel, and there's a militia, and there's the Chinese Coast Guard, and we saw a Chinese Navy. But the Chinese Navy ship was further from the shoal na. So the shoal itself is, yung tatlo lang, mga white na shipping vessels, white na Coast Guard, and blue militia ship. And they just keep on going around and around. So, may vessels na umikot. Like, may vessels na stationary lang. In fact, we saw 2 Chinese Coast Guards at the mouth of the lagoon. You wear a bonnet kasi sabi nila mag-bonnet daw para hindi daw halata na parang foreigner. Sabi ko, why? Kasi medyo, I'm still dark, but I'm not to look like a regular fisherman and to wear a bonnet. No? There were some vessels there that would go around. No? They would take a visual check. There was one time na we were interviewed live. So, we used, may internet connection kami, Starlink. After that, as in there's no vessels near in the horizon, biglang, kita na, biglang, bakit may lumapit na ship? So, sabi na, parang, have to cut the feed, di ba? The vessel came near, stayed there, umalis. A Coast Guard came near, stayed there for quite some time. Parang it's very intimidating. Kasi those are big vessels. Way back in 2014, kwento ng isang fisherman, nabangga daw sila ng isang militia vessel ng Chinese. So, looking at those big vessels, then we look at the bangka, parang, okay, if something happens, if something's going to ram us, I brought a life vest, but if something's going to ram us, wala kaming laban. We anchored near the shoal naman, but again, iba kasi kung nasa loob ka because you're protected talaga. And before, like you mentioned, kung may masama ng panahon, they can just go in. Now, hindi na pwede. You can't. There's 3 Chinese Coast Guards there guarding the entrance.